Alright, what is up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to give a little bit of a tutorial style video on how to play black-yellow Charlotte Linlin into red-purple Luffy. So let's go ahead and dive straight into this game. So let's see what the opening hand is. I had the mulligan, but the second opening hand here is pretty good. And it just got better. And real quick, guys, I am on 2x speed because this is a little bit of a longer game. This ended up being almost a 20-minute game, so I'm going to be watching on 2x speed. But I get pudding turn 1, which is ideal because I am still running the Big Mom Pirates version of black-yellow. And then, lastly, I from the pudding, I got the 3-cost Sparrow, which will go straight into Gadatsu or Borsalino, depending on what the board state is. Okay, so he goes turn 1 pass, and I go turn 2 Sparrow. So I'm establishing a strong board, 2k counter out of the 6k. I think you should keep your life about as high as you can against red-purple Luffy and put on as much pressure as you can against red-purple Luffy so that he has, so that you're threatening lethal, right? You're not trying to go late game with them. That's just going to happen naturally, but you need to get some tempo under you so that you can make it that point. So I swing for 6 there. So pause. Looking back, let me see it. We'll pause. Yes, I'm just making sure spacebar works. Looking back, I think it would have been fine to just not attack again and just play out Gadatsu and get the 6k body down, the 5-cost 6k body down, and just remain on curve. Now, getting down Borsalino is nice because that does allow me to... It does one of two things. Either A, it keeps my opponent honest where he has to swing for, higher numbers, or B, it allows me to block out of his normal attacks like I'm a 6k leader with Borsalino. Okay, so let's see what happens next. It looks like my opponent's on 7 Dawn already, even though I'm at 5 last turn. I'll be on 7 this turn. And he loads up 7 and goes face here. So pause, again, real quick. That tells me everything. My opponent has a hand that is absolutely stacked with 2k counters and, bosses, huge characters. Okay. So I'm like, okay, time to start attacking. We'll swing 6 at the leader, get a card out of hand, or take life. We got a life. Right here, I'm counting how many cards he has. 6 at leader again. Again, we're going to get a life card, or we're going to get a card out of hand. Okay, and now I'll drop the Gadatsu. So ultimately, that ended up being just fine the way I played that, by playing out the Borsalino first. He plays out a new gate. This is a less than ideal situation for me. I use 2 2Ks to get out of this because, like I said, I'm trying to stay as high of life as I can. In this situation, I just want to play my other Borsalino. So I'm going to swing 8 and 8 with my characters and get down Borsalino. That's all I can do. So I thought about swinging with Sparrow here. And I thought about doing that for a reason because, number one, he's not exactly great against Luffy. But I do like having a full board, so that gives me options in case he hits some removal. Okay, so swing 10, I am going to take this, and then he plays the 10-cost Luffy to get an extra turn by clearing his board and starting over with Dawn. Uses his leader effect, uses the character effect, he's up to 2, swing for 7. I counter out of this one because I can. Again, I'm trying to keep as strong of a board state as I possibly can. Okay, he gets an extra turn, uses his character effect to go to 5, has 4 active, and let's see what he does here. So I can't defend my Gadatsu anymore. He's dead. He's KO'd. Got to let him go. And then he sauce 4 Dawn to play with or to attack with his leader. Let's see what he does. Ultimately, I think he should establish something, but he didn't have anything earlier, remember? So it's not surprising he had to swing at life. Okay, so now this is my 10 Dawn turn. And I'm going to tell you right now that I make a play mistake here. I should have just established 10-cost Linlin, period, in a discussion. Because that gets rid of his last life. It gives me a character to battle with his 10-cost character. It gets me from 1 life to 2 life. And then, guess what? I'm sitting on 2 blockers. That just, in my personal opinion, that just simply is the right play. But you'll see I do not choose to do that, unfortunately. And I nearly regret it over the course of this game. Because now it does show in a game where, like, well, maybe I don't get 10-cost Linlin at this point of the game. So it will show you other options you'll have at dealing with red-purple Luffy. So swing 6 at life. This is going to get a card out of hand or he's going to lose a life. Okay, let's see what he does. He uses a 3k counter there, so that tells me a little bit. I'm like, okay, well, you know, since I've used one Dawn, I can't use Parasparrow. So I'm going to swing with my Linlin to gain life. So swing for 9, trash a Linlin to gain a life. I still gained a life. And I ultimately got 3 cards out of my opponent's hand there. So someone could argue that that was actually the right call to do in that order, but I personally don't think it was. I think it would have been better to do it the other way. Because then, next turn, if he doesn't put down a blocker, he has to block 22,000 damage from my Charlotte Linlin, right? And that's, or can I even do math? No, that's correct. Excuse me. 22,000 damage from Linlin coming across if he doesn't have a blocker. And I'm sitting on 2 blockers and 2 life. So you see what's going on there. But in the direction that I chose to do it, I was able to get a 3k counter out of hand and a random card and a radical beam out of hand. So ultimately, and I still have my 2 blockers. I still have 2 life. It's just he still has 1 life. So, okay, I play out another Parasparrow because I've chosen to go the attrition route at this point. There is no dropping down Tinlin anymore. Playing Tinlin is no longer an option because you're going to see, because I get, that's a lot about One Piece. I'm going to say that while this is going on. He's going to swing for 7 here. If I had a 2k in hand, I would have blocked Porcelino and 2k'd out and let him just have it with his Luffy, but that didn't happen. Anyway, when it comes to TCGs and One Piece in particular, especially, if you miss your opportunity to do something, that can cost you the game, first of all, and second of all, if it doesn't, you just made your life that much harder. Now, yes, it is hard to determine when you're doing it or not, like when you lose your opportunity or not, because you could just be baiting yourself into losing the game. But I think you guys see what I'm saying. Okay, so he plays out Luffy here. He's going to swing for 7 at Parasparrow. I'm absolutely fine with that play. Parasparrow can't grab Sanji, but it can grab Pudding or Big Mom. I grab the Searcher and the 1k counter. And now it's my turn. Okay. Looking back, my opponent probably should have just attacked my face there. So now I'm going to go 6 at life. And as you can see, like I said, there's no longer playing any Tinlin. I've already lost that opportunity to play Tinlin. Because he could have another Luffy in hand and go for lethal next turn if I tried to greedily play it now. I mean, I could get away with it. Who knows? I don't know what's in his hand. But he just used a 2k to get out of a 6k attack, and he's a 6k leader. So that tells me right away, okay, then I'm going to go 7 at your Luffy. Because that's either going to cost you a, you know, well, he has 1 Dawn open. So that's either going to cost you a guard point, a rad beam, or another 2k that I know you probably don't have because you just used a 2k. So, okay, let's see what you got. And he uses a radical beam to save that. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Because remember, I did just use my leader effect there to gain a life. And now I just tossed 2 cards without counters to get 2 cards with 1k counters and to go up a blocker, go up a life. I'm in a decent position now. And I guess I'll mention this while we're at it, while he's taking his time to do his turn. This is why Black Yellow Charlotte Linlin is very powerful. And, you know, people might ask, like, well, why not run Katakuri? Why not run NL? Well, first of all, NL can't use 10 cost Linlin. Okay, so I block out of that 12k attack. First of all, NL can't use 10 cost Linlin. Katakuri does not have the ability to gain life. So Black Yellow Linlin gets both of those abilities, right? Not only can I run the full Big Mom Pirates package, okay, he swings at my Parasparrow, let it go. I'll take the 2k counter here. So not only do I get the Big Mom package, but I also get the ability to gain life with my leader's effect, and I also get access to all the black cards. So I do think that Black Yellow Linlin does have a good spot. Okay, so, I mean, looking at the board state here, he did not take a life from me that turn. So I still have 2 life. I no longer have to use 4 of my Dawn this turn to gain life. I can't gain life, right? Because for those who don't know, Black Yellow Linlin can only gain life if she has 1 or less life. Now I get to choose. Now I get to use this entire turn for poking at my opponent and establishing more blockers. Okay, so 6k coming in at life, and he takes it. I'm like, ooh, that's tempting. I wanted to swing all out there, but he had 2 Dawn active. I couldn't risk it. Instead, let's drop a Sabo and a Sanji, and I'll give them both, Sanji first, then Sabo, so that way they all have cannot be KO'd, and I swapped out 2 cards for 2 better cards when it comes to counters in hand. So he dropped the 7 cost Kid, and he has 4 Dawn active. He's swinging 7k at leader. I have 2 life, and he still has 3 other attacks. So let's see. I take the first one. I'm trying to get him to go sideways so I can win this game. He swings for 12. I use Sabo or Sanji. That's just an easy no-brainer there. Because I'm expecting him to swing with Luffy here. And if he had, that would have been a mistake, by the way. Because as you can see, I have 2, 4, 6, 7,000 power and counter in hand. So that would have probably just been game. But maybe not. Who knows? So, okay. He plays a blocker. Well, then I'm just going to keep poking. And I'm going to gain a life every single turn. Swing 7 at life here. I'll trash a card from hand. I drop out the cracker. Gain a life. He loses a blocker. I still have 2 blockers. Let me see. I don't remember exactly what I do here. Do I swing? Yeah, I swing with my Sabo. Because I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? I'm starting to see, like, okay, this race is almost over, and you are in trouble here, buddy. Because you're either going to have to use all the cards in your hand here, or, you're just done for, right? So let's see what he does. So, or he has to use the blocker or a card in hand, right? Uses all the cards he had left in his hand. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. Because I have 2 life, I have a blocker, I'm about to play another blocker. He has to top deck removal. And it still might not be enough because I have 6,000 counter in hand with 2 life and a blocker. So here we go. Let's see what he does. I think Red Purple Luffy in this situation just has to go face. There is no other... Yeah, he's turning his blocker sideways first so that he can play around like a lightning bolt if possible. I 2k, 1k counter out of the 7k attack. Swings for 8. And in this situation, I'll take it. Do not use the trigger here because I can't afford losing counter power in hand. And let's see what he does. So I think he's going to swing... So he might have a Luffy in hand. So he's got to keep 5 or more Dawn open. Okay, swing 9. Okay, block out with my blocker. Let's see what he does here. And if he swings with Luffy here, I'll just take it. The unblockable Luffy, I'll just take that if he loads up and swings with it. Okay, he just gained a Dawn with his leader effect. That was very sneaky. And I'm like, okay, I have to take that one, then I block out here. So, okay. So in my mind, I'm thinking I've won the game no matter what at this point. Even if he has another Luffy in hand, I will take one of them, and I will counter out of the other. I know the game's over. So right here, I'm like, okay, well then 2k counter, GG. And he had a Franosuke left in hand. So really awesome game there. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. What would you have done differently? What did you think about this game? I'll just be the first one to say it. You don't even have to mention it. Right here, I think it was after he dropped. Hang on, let me go right. It was this turn right here. So let me hit play. He attacks in. And I'm pretty sure I take this. Okay, sorry guys, just 1 second. Yeah. He swings in here. He leaves 1 Dawn active. This turn right here, I'm just going to pause it. I think the one big play mistake, it ended up not being too much of a play mistake. Someone could argue that it was better to get the 3 cards out of hand that I did get out of hand and gain a life. But I think the better play here looking back would have just been drop the 10 cost. Just do it. You've got 2 blockers. I don't have a lot of counter power, but I'll have 2 life, 2 blockers, and then my opponent has no life. So he's stuck in a situation, he's stuck in a less than favorable position. But I chose to do it the harder way, chose to do it this way where I just start attacking into him, start getting cards out of hand. So, again, y'all tell me what y'all think. Actually, that's what I'll ask. Do you think it was better to do it the way that I did it right here in this video, or the way that I was saying to do it by playing out the Linlin? So, all right, guys, that's it. I'm going to end the video there. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've got any questions or comments, please put them down in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, peace.